So the NFL season is winding down, just a couple weeks left. All these teams positioning themselves for the big playoff push. My beloved Redskins are still in first place, still in control of their destiny, unbelievably so. Why is this important? Well, this week's review is about a movie directly related about football, but more importantly, Redskins don't usually do well at all. So I wanted to document this and show my kids and say, listen kids, if the Redskins can win, anything is possible. And with that, I welcome you to another episode of The Real Mentor. Of course, my goal is always to enhance your movie watching experience because that's what a good mentor does. Now, for the record, I don't have any kids, but I do hope to have them one day. Just want to clarify that. So this week we got Concussion, starring Will Smith, of course, used to be one of the world's biggest movie stars. Has been struggling of late, so I was kind of curious about this movie. A lot of Oscar talk going around. It's basically, he plays Dr. Bennett Amalu, who is this kind of a neuropathologist, forensic pathologist, in other words, a coroner who is brilliant from Nigeria, who discovered a link between brain damage and professional football. Now, of course, NFL is king around here. They rule Sundays, Monday nights from August all the way through February. It's this country's biggest, most lucrative sport, billion-dollar industry. So this movie tries to focus on Dr. Amalu's, crusade against the NFL to bring this new information about CTE and the damages it causes due to all the collisions that football can have on these players, and tries to take on the NFL, at least not as much to bring down NFL, but to at least enlighten them as far as the dangers that this sport generates. Now, Will Smith actually does an excellent job in this movie. I can't say I'm too surprised. He is a good actor, doesn't always pick the best movies, but he does generally good work. And this is a little bit different role for him, a little more subdued than we normally see him as. And he was excellent. I really thought his accent might throw me off based off the trailers, that it didn't like what I was hearing initially, but it was fine. And his very nuanced performance, very well. Not enough to truly recommend you guys to go watch it just for the performance in itself. It's not going to be an Oscar caliber performance, but still did a very good job, surprisingly well in this particular role. Now, this movie, again, it's a solid flick, but it just fell short of being great. And the main reason why is, I think, a little bit of the imbalance between what the director tried to give you. This is actually the director's second movie, so he's a relative newcomer, and it shows in this particular film. The film itself is kind of mismarketed. You think it's about David versus Goliath, this doctor presenting this case against the NFL, and the NFL trying to bring him down, or the cover up the NFL did to hide, because they were aware what was going on, but they were hiding it. They used a lot of the medical doctors who kind of forged documents and didn't educate the players about the dangers of the concussions and multiple head injuries and what have you. But instead, the movie focuses more on the doctor himself, and he's a great character. He's super likable. You really root for him, and you follow him throughout, from when he discovers the injury situation all the way through until he actually becomes vindicated as his results, as he was pretty much being held back by the NFL, obviously. But the movie itself focuses so much on him, and he's a nice story in and of itself, but you wanted to see more of his, attack on the NFL, his struggle with them and them keeping him down. You don't get enough of that, which takes away a lot of the intrigue that you see, particularly in other movies based on true stories, but recent ones, even Spotlight, for example, which I highly recommend, which obviously tackled another controversial issue, but only focused on the characters, was the reporters who were investigating the situation with the church and the molestation and all that, but also the struggle and eventually bringing that into light. This movie just focuses on the doctor himself for the most part. So this movie definitely, I thought, would have been better served focusing more on that David versus Goliath, that more the inspiration aside, to really elevate this movie from being just a good solid flick to something great. There are also a decent cast. We got Albert Brooks and Alec Baldwin-Mailey, who really lend a good supporting hand. On Alec Baldwin is particularly very well in this movie, and they both do. I love Albert Brooks. He does a lot of good things. But unfortunately, it's not enough to really carry the film. This is ultimately Will Smith's movie, but I really want us to kind of give us a little bit more than just almost a biopic about this Dr. Amalu, which it should have been a story about the NFL and about the CTE situation, and the doctor, confronting the NFL about that. And I think that's where the movie kind of falls short. Now, it's still a solid movie. I would definitely recommend you guys watch it, but more so at home, video on demand and all that. Netflix eventually comes out and make it part of Netflix and chill rotation. Now, if you're an avid movie goer like myself and you've already seen Star Wars already or seen it twice, then go ahead and is a way I can recommend. If you're not an avid movie watcher, I'm not saying it's the kind of movie you should get out of the house and go rush to watch. Just wait for it. You can catch it at home later on. So in the end, Concussion, if you're a big NFL fan, this may be more interesting, and this is a topic you guys are probably familiar with, all you fans out there. I know I am. They've been talking about it to death, and about the changes the NFL has been making to kind of counteract the dangers of the hard collisions and the kind of cutting back on the hard hits, helmet hits, and all that. But at the end of the day, again, it's a way I recommend more that you watch at home. So hopefully this review is helpful. If you do watch, you guys enjoy it, let me know. Comment as always. Follow me at The Real Mentor on Twitter. And of course, subscribe below. Feed my need to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.